Bolo Yanzan Jok Ngudai Baman Jone Shesadan Godan Gando Mombo Jaja Jesa Dadu Je Yanjala Jesa Guru Bama Zada Yana Yanzam Bama Gaza Nombo Yanzan Jogen Udanye Bama Jone Jiza Kwanda Ganda Momba Gor Jaja Jiza Dada Yanjala Jiza Zang Guru Bam Sada Angara Jara Semba Magara Jamonya Yang Kosenanya Nene Jazaz Lama Namla Zavanda Zeba Jendun Jonye Deja Londanya Bendangayon Nada Damba Bebe Dayet Gonde Jaga Doba Lonjamba Demeod Yala Zavanda Jaja Yenja Badon Deza Zanje Ganja Ngavanya Ronsen Jagung Zum Denze Zavela Me Yala Zavanda. So in order to holding Buddha Dharma or spread Buddha Dharma is the only two ways. One is for the study and one is for the practice. There's no third way that you can really holding Buddha Dharma or spread Buddha Dharma and establishing Buddha Dharma. There's no way. So therefore, the studying and medicine is the only the solution, and that is the only way. So today we are more listening on the teachings of the Buddhas, then the teaching which the Buddha's oral as well as Indian masters commentary on the Buddha's oral teaching. And then later on the Buddhism came to Tibet, so therefore the Tibetan masters has also commentary on the Buddha's oral teaching, but mainly Buddha's Bodhisattvas, the Buddhist scholar from India's teachings commentary. So most Tibetan books are the commentary and also put kind of quotations or essence of the teachings put into the books. So the book is one of the great Tibetan master Jalwa Longchen Ranjam, and he wrote this for the practitioners who really want to practice of the all essential of the Buddhist teaching. Actually, basically we can say that almost 300 volumes of the Buddha's teaching from India to translate into Tibet. So this teaching is essence of those 300 volumes of the Buddha's and Indian masters' teaching. And this the teaching, the book has 13 chapters, and we are on the 8th. And then 8th has 3 main headings or main subject, and we are in the second, and then second they're talking about 10 different subheadings, the abode of the bodhicitta mind. So today we are already on the 10th. We already last one. The last one, and the 10th, that says the teaching of the stage by which beings should practice this. Oh, that was 9th, I think. Maybe the 10th is they're talking about from the two method of training in the what should be practiced. So last chapter says you should learn what should abandoned to be abandoned, what should be known as learning should know what should be known, and then practice what should be practiced. So now they are talking about this is like that kind of things, okay? So training of the should be practiced, the activity of the victorious ones, and this teaching has two kind of headings, brief and then more details. And then that we are on the details ones. And the details, they should have also kind of two things, which is the general speak of the all 6 parameters, and as well as then what is they call individual meaning of the 6 parameters, right? And then we have been now in the second, which is the individual, extensive explanation of the individual nature of the perfections. Meaning of the perfections, nature of the perfections are same. And there has 7 kind of subheadings. So we are now in the second. Second is discipline. You know, this morning we told about the generosity. So the little above this quotation, Yalvi Sinam, Lotona, Rongi Sojang, Tata Tons, Niji Yenli, Namayomare, Dobindri, Tamanye, Yimba Tenyi, Shewa Tamji, Shonja Samla Kut, Yimba Yeshi, Kiyon Sambin, Jitantana, Mazejas. The Buddha's child, on meeting with students, this means, the student means whoever interested about practice of the generosity, or whoever wish to get something, and that can be student, because that way you can teach the generosity. You know, generosity is also one way of the teaching. So student, always give these lives. So even, even they need to give their life, they also happily. And then way of that giving is more by compassionating. So therefore, they do not have such like rewards. They don't have such like wish to get something back. So that's why even if they're receiving compassion from other beings, they take no care of the fruit of their human hope and wishes. I think that English, I'm not sure exactly, but here says, because of the compassion, no matter whatever you offer, they do not have any hope or wish to get something. Like they don't really focus on the result of this life or such things. And also by the generosity, they establish it all beings within the 3 enlightenment. This English translator is very correct, I think. The 3 enlightenment means the Shavakas, Patika Buddhas, and enlightenment or Buddha's realms. So the lower realms they bring into the Shavakayanas and Patikayanas, and then those who are already merged their minds and they bring into the enlightenment or in the Buddhahood. So therefore, they're talking about by the generosity and then establish it the three, within the three enlightenments. So generosity has really power. So if you practice of the generosity with correctly, maybe you will be very, very like benefits for many, many sentient beings, bring into enlightenment, bring into the on the path, and even help in bring into the, keep the 10 virtues and etc. So they are such great powers. And the Yimba Yehi next is completely perfected by the wisdom of the generosity. I think that is also a little bit wrong translation, if I understood. But the generosity is with completely perfect of the wisdom is correct, because generosity you need wisdom, that you are free from the three spheres of the giver, gift, and object, and etc. So therefore, we need that kind of. So because of that, they are placed to the realm of the unexhausted purity. I think this purity is also something is a little different, Here says the Jiten Tana. Ta means sometimes purity, but sometimes like amount, amount of the world, realms, it will be never become exhausted, okay? Your result will never exhausted until, until that you are living in the world. It means until you become enlightenment. That was, I think, that was meaning actually here. It will be also coming, this similarity words, it comes all these 6 parameters. It belongs to this Mahayana, I always saying this ornament of the sutta ornament of the sutta teachings. And then here the discipline. So as we mentioned, discipline is more like really, that man seeds to be born the higher realms. It's man seeds. And as well as also this plan is the very important to the all foundation of the all quality of the enlightenment. And this has been 3 different lists. And first they're talking about the explanation of the nature or meaning of the discipline, then as well as expression of the prayers. So as for the explanation of the perfection of discipline, seems external and non-external to inner abide in the enlightenment. Tsaronji paro de himba cheba na hiro pala mepkin, nongba sonji pala yopis. Oh, they were always talking about now here the translator of the highest discipline, and Tibet word hlap itsaramji hlapa. So as I mentioned, any religions have discipline, and any religion have also mind training, and any religions do have also wisdom of the training. But then we talk about extraordinary discipline, extraordinary wisdom training, extraordinary mind training, because these are the really linked with actually enlightenment, as well as also these are the linked with antidote of our negative emotions. So therefore, like we talk about more like these are the highest discipline. So therefore, yes, it's by the highest or extraordinary discipline, we'll control ourselves and peace and mental happiness will be attained by that. And by pranayana, we will gain perfection of the two benefits. So I want to read in Tibet. Hlapi tsisamchi na yidamchi, samji gewa hibar nambadab, hirabji na teni person souls. So, of course, this is like a little bit, how I should say, that is little bit, so anyway, this plan, the minimum that they control ourselves, minimum quality is control ourselves, and then as well as also the accomplishing of the inner peace, and as well as also that the extraordinary ethic, we should also have the wisdom. So therefore, like you can be benefit of the both self and others. So that means it's two benefits. So in this case, the 6 parameters of the ethic is even more profound than Vinaya's ethic. Vinaya ethic, we don't talk too much about two benefits. That we don't talk about that much. So therefore, here the Mahayana's wisdom, they're talking about two benefits, and one because of you have really prajna, wisdom, that also we go beyond nirvana as well as samsara. So that is the things. And then next is the brief explanation that is to be turned and in instruction to guide and so then when you have the ethic, and then we have to know what you have to do, as we talk about also last chapters about the ethic. So therefore, I think here they talk about very short ones. Damdong, chudub senjen tengete, yazinam jitsurum sum taksong. And he says, the vow accumulation of the merit and helping beings, the Buddha's child, will always guide the three discipline. Renunciation, take the vow of the monk, samsara, Sherman, Nira, or novice, and discipline of guiding both of the two bodhicittas. But this is something missing from my text, I think, in Tibet. Oh, okay. This letter, I think, maybe here is something big mistake. The first one is only 2 sentences, okay? Says the vow accumulating of dharma and helping beings, and the Buddha's child will always guide the 3 disciplines. So here again they're talking about 3 disciplines. The vow is 1. Accumulation merit of dharma is 2. The helping sentient being is the 3rd one. This is always we have to remember. The Mahayana ethic we're talking about put into 3. The vow means that yourself should not do any of the negative emotions or control of the negative emotion, not harm and etc. And then second, the collection of the dharma through the 6 parameters and etc. And then also helping sentient beings. And these are 3. The 3 of this is the always guidant, and discipline the bodhisattvas or should do always, and says like that because this is a more like instruction. We should, bodhisattvas should do that way. And then next, the subject, I think, and then here they're talking about various of the also beings, those who have the ethic vows, and then also the root of is bodhicitta mind. And that was missing here. So it's big missing. One subject is missing. This subject is missing. So that is the big missing. So, and did you find the books, new books? What was the subject name? Or heading or list or heading, whatever.
The divisions of individuals who keep discipline and the explanation of the root as bodhicitta.
Okay. That is the missing, so please try to write down. That is kind of big things. Can you read again? Or I will read also, but page number 197. This is big things missing. The division of the individuals who keep this plan. Please write down, okay? The division of the individual who keep this plan and then the explanation of the root as bodhicitta as for those who keep it. So we're talking about here division. There's various of the beings, who can able to discipline. But the root in the Mahayana, the root is bodhicitta. All of this, those beings, the root should be like bodhicitta. So then in the also root text, they're missing again. Householder take the precepts of the lay discipline and along with the vow of aspiration and entering, renunciation or renunciates take the vow of a monk and shamanira or novice, and this plan of guiding both the two bodhicittas. So householder takes the precepts of the lay discipline along with the vow of aspirating and entering is missing too. So this year book quality is not so well. So there was no help. So that is the reason. The subject is that. So then what is, okay, maybe okay, then the commentary by the Longchen Ranjampas, so we can go more with that. So here in the additional whichever, sorry, this additional whichever is there, okay. So here the additional to whichever of the 7 Patimoksha. So in the Vinaya, we talk about 7 Patimoksha practitioners, Patimoksha individual liberation called Patimoksha. Those are the also, okay, you can take, even you are Bodhisattva, you can take vow of the Patimokshas, or the Patimokshas vows should include it somehow in the Bodhicitta when you take. But however, the 7 Patimoksha means the division of the sentient beings. Not such like vow is 7, but different people, they contain 7. Maybe you will know. Self-liberation vow may be a purity. There is the vow of the Bodhisattva, this plan, include the vow of arising and to bodhicitta of aspiration and entering. So single bodhicitta vow, no division corresponding with 7 family of personal enlightenment. So just bodhicitta mind, you cannot have really many of those devices, one bodhicitta mind. But however, if the person practitioner, like lay practitioner, monk practitioner, as well as like novice practitioner, then we can counting those, novice practitioner become bodhicitta, that is also okay. And full monks, they also took bodhicitta, and then that is also okay. So that's why they are counting too much. But in me here, maybe coming there, they're saying of the what is the seventh, it will telling here, so maybe then you will find those 7 families or 7 types different, male and females, then Genyen, Getsul, and Gelhong. So 3 lay vows, novice vows, and full monk vows. And these 3, they divide it in two kind of sentient beings, human beings, male and females. And that makes become 6, that makes become 6 vows. Lay practitioner vows, novice vows, and full ordained vows of the male and female, and become 6. Then plus the lay discipline. Lay discipline is more like lay discipline is, sorry? Or lay disciples, like lay disciples. Where is the lay disciples? Oh, lay disciples. Disciple or discipline?
Disciple means student.
Oh, lay disciples. Nyeni pamani, jitadi genyen pamani, gezu pamani, gelong pamani, gelo ma. Okay, lay disciple. Oh, then we see. And continuously, male and female obscuration of the one day decepts. There are 9 kind of families or 9 different now vows. I think now this lay disciple is anyway, I think we can go a little bit more, they should have more commentary. It will be 9. And on the side of householders, Chimbi Genyen Shol. Genyen do. Yini number yes. Okay. On the side of the household, those with the vow of the Genyen, and the one day precept makes 2 divisions. So Genyen is actually who took vows of the this 5 different vows for all your life. Then next the Genyen, and then other one is called Hyeni. Hyeni is only one day you took vows. So these 2, they both are belongs to the householder. Then on the side of the renunciation, and they are novices, Getsul, and then Getsulma, the female Getsul, and also condited monk. What is condited monk? Okay, condited monk and nuns. Then Sharamanari is what is that Sharamanari? Genyen Pama, okay. Genyen is female and Genyen is male and Genyenma is female, and fully ordinate monk and nuns, Genlong and Genlongma. It is being cited that in the edition of the vow, the vow of arousing the bodhicitta possess. So in here, they talk about lay discipline. In Tibetan, they call geloma. As I mentioned, that geloma is like something that before you took vows for the female, female vow, some kind of female vow. It's not like novice, not like full ordinate, but before you took full geloma, and then you have vows, and that we call geloma. Rado Hyong Shoji, Geso Rado Hyong Galomari did. Not debate, date in the sense, but then those are the different types of the, where, how you can take bodhicittas. So, you know, the last time they're talking about the bodhicitta, someone says, like the mind only, score says you have to have one of the patimoksha's vows. And as well as Nagarjuna says that you don't have to, but meaningly you have to have. At least that's something you are not harm, you have like that kind of vow. So if we say that I will not killing any sentient beings until my life, that is also become Genyen, okay, that you can become Genyen. So therefore, kind of meaningly we should have one of those patimoksha's. So any of those patimoksha is like one of the support to have, our bodhicitta mind.
This candidate monk is actually not novice. It is something else, because here is mentioned that there are novices and then candidate monks and nuns. So that is kind of different then.
That I don't know. Candidate is I don't know.
Can it be like before they are fully ordained?
That's possible. That's possible. Genye pama ni, geso pama ni, gelong pama ni. Maybe that is called geloma. I think this is female, but it will come somehow. I saw there was something more more like explanation about these things. It will come anyway. So from the ornaments of the sutta, Radha Shomba Shodana, Yanden Semi Namnode. Dede Namsen Chimbai, Shonje Semi Chibangas. So now they're talking about there's two kind of, if you say, the side of the householder and side of the renunciation. So can be that Bodhisattva, which is householder, and can be also Bodhisattva, which is the renunciation ones, who have vows, full monks and etc. So therefore now here they're talking about these two, which one is important, As for those who dwell on the side of the renunciation, they have an amount of virtue that is immeasurable. Complete the householder in the story with their vows, they are more excellent than even those bodhicittas. What you say? What you hear that? The English? Which one is excellent? Monks are most excellent. Okay? Yeah, that was correct. Radha Shombe Shonje Semba Shela, Radha Jongwe Shonje Semba Shela, Ndole Jong Shonje Semba Chimbardon. Okay, so therefore they're talking about renunciation bodhisattvas. And together the householder and the renunciation bodhisattvas in the sutta says, so therefore there is also who are having the vow of the renunciation, and means patimoksha vows, and same time you can take also bodhisattva vows. And then here again they're talking about more. Okay, maybe something missing here, I think. Again. Together, householder and renunciation bodhisattvas who had the form of boys and girls, tens of the millions of billions, very many, when Buddha taught about bodhisattvas and bodhicitta mind. So that these are the retenus of the who are listening and who are followers. So therefore, they can be householder, they can be monk, they can be female, they can be male, they can be also gods and goddess and etc. So the millions of the beings who are listening of the bodhicittas. And then of the two kind of Genyans, now maybe still something missing or what? of the two kind of, what does it mean that? Of the two kind of Genyans, Terons, Genyan la Nili, Nangar Soma, So, Genyan, Tsawa Yam, Ye, Koron Soma, Dolo Poma Yeno, Koron Song, Dolo Poma Yeno. Somebody should be Genyan, Tsawa Yen Chondon, Tate in the Mazoma should be. The two kind of the Genyans, as for Genyan who observe a few precepts, they are the root for Genyans who keep the four root precepts or any four and obtain wrong object of the sexual desire, Genyan of the pure conduct. So Genyan has no killing, no stealing, no lying, and no mis-sexual conduct. And then if you can keep one of that, and that also you have become Genyan, and if you keep all of that, and that is also become great Genyan. And then some Genyans also, they never do any sexuals, and that also possible, that is also another type of the Genyans. So actually they have kind of few different Genyans. Genyan which keep vow of the only one or two and all of the fours, and then you can do sexuals, but you cannot do mixed sexual conduct or sexual misconduct or whatever. But then on the top of that, some Genyans, they don't do any of sexuals. So, but you are not any of other vows, but you are like pure Genyan, they call pure Genyans. So few type of that. So I hope you get from this English, but the meaning was that. Then here is one quotation. Renouncing cutting off life, taking the good of others, impure act, false speaking, alcohol, and so forth, and then dance and garland and such with sitting on large high seat and receiving food, gold, silver, anytime afternoons. And that there is another difficult problems. This novice monks, you have to keep all of these 10 kind of the things, the don't stealing, don't killing, and don't do sexual, don't lying, don't drink alcohol, no singing or dancing, no way of these ornaments, like garland ornaments, and should not sit higher of the matters and not eat the afternoon food, should not take gold and silver. Those are we call 10 kind of the vows, mainly for the novice monks. And then others, any of the, like downfall or fault and meaningless, we have all kind of activities we should keep away from those. And then they're talking about geloma, geloma. And these are the novice monk, novice monk. Now that they're talking about geloma. This geloma is now here, this is for non-candidate, candidate is geloma. Now we can find candidate is geloma, and then here explain what is the geloma. There are also the 12 renunciation producing antidote of the not touching anyone and so forth. So geloma has 12 something. Since women are great kalashas, they are sorry, that was Buddha says, Buddha's teaching, not Buddha says, I don't believe this must be wrong. There? Okay. So anyway, now this have to change, I think, because since the women have great kalashas, they are study for 2 years to see if they can keep their vows and if they are suitable. So like full monk, the gelomas, and the full, the ordained of the females, before you take that vow, so you have to keep this kind of 12 things. So I think, I'm not sure it's the 12 things which he gives one example. What kind of example he says here? Says this 12 renouncing, protect, and not touching anyone. Not touching anyone. Here says not touching for the men. Don't touch, We should not touch the man. Sorry? So now you know you are how much devotion to Buddha. What do you say? Not touch at all to the man state in the Hipala, Mrebala, Sobas, etc. And I think there was also women, you should not stay like this upside down inside. Really? Those are the rules. If I tell all details, maybe funny, but if there was in the Vinaya, they're talking about like that. So there's 12 things you have to abandon. You have to take vow for 2 years, all in 2 years. And if you manage those all in 2 years, then you can take full ordained of the vows. So that what they're talking about, okay? So therefore, here says, to birth, and then for fully ordained monk, and then next is Pime Nyemo Cheve, Tem Nam, Tomato, Tabala Soba, Lot Ningla Soba, Lopos. But there's something missing, I think. Or then maybe translation was very scared to translate all of this. So maybe something missing. Did you say? Is there missing? Same, okay. Sorry? Yeah, the fully ordained monk, but in upper is that missing. Okay, I think there was anyway then missing originally both books. Or maybe this is kind of same things, I think, I don't know. If they keep their vows and, okay, maybe this is not missing, I think, okay. And then Gelong, the next is Gelong Pama years, Gelong la Pamba year. Okay. The for full ordained monk, the Gelong, and there are 4 basic rules involving exclusion from the Sangha. So this I don't know really. And then additional 13 perception and 30 of abandoning, which if they are broken, one must abandon the object involved and so forth, and all together maybe 253% in all. And Gelong Ma, full ordinary nun have 364 or more. This is according to the Shavas tradition or something. I will read in Tibetan a little bit, okay? Genlong la pamba yel hama chesam pondo samji la so pan chum ni janga jisa sams. So full ordinate Genlong, we talk about 4 root ones, and then 13 which if you done, almost you broken, it's very close to the broken the vows, and that we call the Lama Chusum. And then they're talking about 13 also that downfall, but which you can also result. Those are the result called easily. And altogether they're talking about 253, and then Gelongma and non full kind of ordained nun have 364, etc. That was okay. Jitanji yoba mabaton, pal chimboton, niden paton, mumbu kubala soba, deva tate bat saram jahlabata nam so. So these are the like all the Vinaya hoarders. They are talking. There's few different groups or few different like followers. They're talking a little bit different, but in Tibetan tradition is like first one, what they call is Sarvas Teveding. Okay, this was like I think the Sanskrit, so I don't know exactly. And then here they're talking about in the some quotations, and this says the booming collections, these asangas. Asangas idea is that you have to have one of those when you take vow of the bodhicitta. So therefore, when in addition to what the collection of precept of the renunciation, and they have those of arosi, the bodhicitta of aspiring and entering without corruptions. This is said to be bodhisattva renunciation, and this commitment are the discipline of refraining from wrongdoing, called the precept of the supreme disciples. Rabda Shoma Laba Joba Teragitin, the Menju Gsem Hit Tola Manya, by Yobana Shonde Sembara de Shoma Soma, Teeta Ventanam, Rongi, usually Dambit Sadamte, Labit Sadam Somse. So they're talking about in Bodhisattva we have 3 kind of vows, and this one is one of the vow which that we are control, or we abandon of the all kind of faults. So it is Asanga and his followers, then you have to have one of those renunciation vow. He translates like renunciation, but more in Tibetan word patimokshya. Patimokshya is a little different than renunciation. I think it's more like individual enlightenment, individual liberation vows. So in the Vinaya, they took those vows because they wish to become enlightenment, themselves enlightened or liberate for themselves. So that's why we call Sosotharva, and then Sanskrit is Patimokshya. There was very nice story, nice story. And one time, and from Hundoli Monastery, almost 20 monks went to America for some big celebration. Then America embassy, they check, these people are really monk or not. And our monastery, they chosen monks who are really very capable to doing like Dhamma dancing and mandala offering, and sent mandala and making toma and etc. And most of those people are not really learn, like Patimokshya and these things, what, like Buddhist philosophy, more like they learning ritual things. So American embassy asking to them, what is meaning of Patimokshya? And none of them knew that, And then we got all of them, most of them, they reject it because they think that they are not monk. It was really true. I think it's maybe 20 years ago, less than 20 years anyway. And none of them noticed what is Patimokkha. uh, then later they have been taught, like some high people and so on and so forth. And the end, all of them got it, but first day they rejected because they did not know what is Patimokkha. But actually, American embassy, they should not supposed to asking like Patimokkha things. That was really true story, okay? Anyway, the Asanga says that we have to have the Patimokkha vows, and then when you keep the Bodhicitta vows, and what your best, are you best on the Geloma or full monk or novice or then Genyan, whatever, then in that kind of vow we have to keep, and on the top of that, then you can receiving of the Bodhicitta. That was the Asanga's teaching. So Teda Gyumponsen gave us 7 on Jipate, Hyunjulis, and then here says, all these are also the attitude of abandonment accompanied by the seed of the virtue. You can take vow with virtue. That is very big meaning. So many can take vow because of your job and because of the something, and because of the be born in the high realms or something, not like thinking of the why I'm abandoning this, not thinking of like abandoning because it's unvirtue. Why you keep because this is virtue. Many people, they don't have. When we are young, we don't know anything, these things, why we are taking, why you are taking. There's no such virtue thoughts, like more like traditional. So then those are the not really kind of perfect. So having addition, that attitude of renunciation or patimokkha is the what is explained as being perfection of these plans. I hope you got that meaning. Jesus. Teo ronji jinyekyo dambi mageba dambi chana soso tabi dambar korwa lami lunzunji ronde devatopi heroes. Ronji jinyekyo dambi mageba dambi chana soso tabi dambas. And then they are talking about the patimokkha. What is the really patimokkha? Is refraining from wrongdoing within oneself, and the aspect of the restraining non-virtue is the called discipline of the personal liberation or patimokkha. So Shravakas, particular Buddhas, they just only thinking of themselves and to like the control of the unvirtuous, and the wish was the free from the samsara, Korba hlami lunzunji ronde devato bisharos, and that in order to take the vows, then you have to be the world or human beings, and then your wish is more like obtaining in the God realm or human realms, as well as then like Sharaka nirvanas, those are the ideas. Lami lunzanji ronde devato bishero. Yela munsurva maze pemba to bichana kondisembas. Then on the top of that, in the Buddhist sadhvas, and they do that, and on the when you have patimokkha, you are really control of your negative emotions. So therefore, they don't harm others. But in the Buddhist sadhva, on the top of that, we should also helping others. That is the extraordinary. Not only not harming others, but also accomplishing benefit for them is only taught within the Buddhist sattva discipline. So Buddha, when they talk about in the Shravakas, in the Vinayas, only says you should not harm, not harm. I think that is big step also, big step for us, for beginners. And then later on, then Buddha says, now you have to help to others, not only enough to not harm. And then on the top of that, the vow of the Vajra vows, they're talking Vajrayana vows. As for mental discipline, additional, the karma and kelakya involved in ordinary grasping and abandon and the true stage of meditation in the stage of the development and fulfillment we made into suitable vessels. So number 8 in the so the Vajra practitioners, we should also more focusing of the pure perceptions, the pure perceptions. So pure perception means that, you know, generally we do have this kind of impure of the thinking, such like negative emotions, right? Negative emotion is impure. Whenever we have the negative emotion, then that is impure. So if you have that kind of thinking, impure thinking, then you have to abandon it. But then such the practitioners if do not have such like think of this impurity, you know, such karma and such negative emotions, then instead of also we are meditation that every sentient beings as a deity and all movement of your mind is as a wisdom. That was like mainly, and we're talking about in the Vajrayana teachings, you know, two stage is they're talking about generation stage and the dissolution parts. So generation is more like the body as a become deity. And then dissolution is the mind become totally luminosity. So if we practice that way, then there is no such karma who are create, and there is no such like negative emotions, because all are as a deity and wisdom. So that way, actually, they try to abandon of the negative emotion and karmas, like more focusing of the nature of the karma and negative emotion. So ngaji dambana te in the tamana damba ledo nyamba pongshin reni gambe. If we does that, then you have become vessel of the Vajrayana practitioner. They also have number roundiness, and then they're talking about another way of the thinking. Now all these uppers are like Bodhisattvas, Patimokkha, Bodhisattvas, Bodhicitta mind, and Bodhisattvas also tantric vows. Now they're talking about Patimokkha with, you know, practitioner of the Hinayana, their thinking, you know, their thinking. And next is they're talking about at the time of, sorry, this English is what? At the time of? Adherence is what? To the actual discipline of personal liberation. So it means now they're talking about like the thinking here Tibet says Sojata with number roundiness. At that, you know, like if you are the Patimokkha followers, you know, like the Vinayas way of the thinking and Vinaya way of the recognition of the Patimokkha is how it is like this. The 10 non-virtues are regarded as intrinsic moral evils. So and moral evil, and there are no occasion when they are permitted, you know, like in the Vinaya practitioner, their point of view, the 10 unvirtues is they're talking about intrinsic moral evil, you know, intrinsic moral evil. So therefore, they have never ever had any occasion to be permitted. You have to abandon. But in the Bodhisattva vows, 7 non-virtues may be committed to benefit others. That was we talked already, right? And then, ngala mopomo tab char. Then this. Then mentor are those cause of the arising of wisdom and fire arise and from wood is produced by that particular profound path. Ngola mupombo tap ten the hingly metal yejicheva judges, lamsa bichevas. So in Vajrayana, even the negative emotions can be good for the arising of your wisdom. It can be that is great method of the arising of the wisdom. So therefore, instead of abandoned, sometimes, or you can also apply that. That was caused. I think maybe a little missing something here, but it's little missing. Looks like maybe one word or something.
Says that mantra depends on skillful means of non-abandonment.
Non-abandoned, but not applying.
That's what it says.
Okay. Yeah, depend on the skillful means of the non-abandoning. Means if you don't have to abandon, right? You don't abandon, and this cause be arising of wisdom, as fire arises from the wood. Fire arising from the wood. So actually, fire can destroy wood, but also fire, it has to come from the wood. So without wood, there is no fire, but then fire can also destroy it. So therefore, like we thought the negative emotion, they should not have maybe wisdom. So the wisdom itself also can be destroyed of the negative emotions. So if we do have the skillful means, and that is the talking about here. And then they're talking about within one continuum of the single being, the single essence exists with different aspects. So these three vows, like Shavaka vows, Bodhisattva vows, and the tantric vows, the one vow, they are transformed somehow. Like if you are receiving Bodhisattva vows, then Shavaka vows transform into the Bodhisattva. And then when you take about tantric vows, they also transform into the tantric vows. So, for example, like His Holiness Tanlong Setu Rinpoche, full monk, full Bodhisattva, full Vajra master, and having this vow of the tantric. So therefore, one person has all of these three. All of these three doesn't mean they have three different vows, because we have only one mind, right? One intention. But they have three aspects. Aspect of the Vinaya, aspect of the Bodhisattva, and aspect of the also what is called the Vajrayanas. So therefore, they are talking about these things. Single being, the single essence exists with different aspects. Yul namna koma songte omichate nduvishiros. Okay, then if a choice must be made between object and the high ones, profoundly kept, and this is a little bit, I think, wrong. Choice must be made between object and higher. What does it mean that? Objects and the higher ones are profoundly kept. Anyway, if you are keep well of your highest one, and it should be also kept all the lowest ones included. That was how they are saying here. Then how possible, like if we think that some practitioners who have wife, like Vajrayana practitioner who have wife, and then in the Patimokkha says if you have wife and your vows are broken. So the Vajrayana, you can have wife. So how it will be not contradiction, now here they're talking about how they are not contradiction one. This is a little interesting. Not contradiction one. So, says pen hot you couldn't because on Chong Tong Nien to be Tonga Dongs. And then they're talking about here, okay. And that's okay, though there seems to be complete contradiction with the lower parts, the essence is not lost. Or the essence is not lost, so there is no contradiction at all. For example, in case tantric practicing, drinking is not a, what is that? Violation is what? Not a not a breaking the vows, right? And even though drinking liquid is thought to be a downfall by the Shavakas. So Shavaka, where if you drink, that is consideredly is downfall. Almost not like exactly broken root, but it's downfall. And that is also very kind of heavy abandoning. You know, Buddha says, whoever drink, that is not my student. He says to the Shavakas. So therefore, in the Shavaka point of view, drinking is downfall, but in the tantric is not. You know, tantric is not. And then that drinking is in the Bodhisattvas. It's not downfall kind of virtue. You know, Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattva it says and by the Bodhisattva said to be associate fault. So you know what is associate and what is downfall, right? So in the Bodhisattva point of view, drinking is associate, and Shavakas is downfall, and tantric is you can allot. So these are the three different actions. So it looks like they are really contradiction, right? But then they are talking about not contradiction here. Here, Jones. So the three of them are, the doing is good actually. There's no such kind of also bad result like Bodhisattva and or tantric practitioners. Where we stop in English now. Associate downfall, nevertheless, okay, nevertheless, from there we start from here, nevertheless. Nevertheless, it is no fault, for example, of the tantric where they drink of the alcohol, because at the time of the committing the fault, the object once must be monk or Bodhisattva. So, you know, the Buddha says you should not drink. That means that time you are monk, you are sentient being, you know. And when Buddha says that alcohol is just associate of the downfall, when he says to Bodhisattvas, at that time you are Bodhisattva. Still you are human being, you know. And monk and Bodhisattva means more like being, human being, and human being, at least human beings. And then, but also at the time, because of visualizing of deity and things are changed. So when in the Vajrayana, that ourselves become deities. If you're really practitioner, you have to have that view that seeing as yourself a deity. So that means you are not anymore monk. You are not anymore sentient beings. You are anymore like really Bodhisattva, you know. That you are higher than Bodhisattva, right? You are deity. So deity, Bodhisattva, deity is like Buddha, okay? And then Bodhisattva and then human being. So when Buddha told to the you that you should abandon of the alcohol, at that time you are sentient being. You are monk. And then Buddha says the alcohol is become associate of the downfall, that your mind is already high, you have become Bodhisattva. But then the tantric practice, you are now already deity as Buddha. So the object is different, you know, yourself are big different. That is the one reason. Things are changed, he says, things are changed. And then another things must become in intoxicated liquid. So when Buddha says alcohol, actually this one alcohol, right? The alcohol, this is alcohol. You know, when you are monk, this is alcohol. And when you are Bodhisattva, maybe this is a little better than alcohol. But when you are tantric, and this is not anymore alcohol. This we call nectars, and see as nectars. So person change become deity, and object alcohol also change into the nectars. And then other also change. I think one the just ngupo nyuye on chongyo gubale, hwaton shaji tingen donji desula yiril on kibas. Oh, why become this nectar? And mentor, the mudras, the samadhis, they are transformed into amrita. That you have to know. I think His Holiness Dalon Siddhu Rinpoche, he often telling us like little bit jokingly, and like maybe 1 century ago, all Dojita monks are really very much kind of drinking. They are like, all are drinking, you know, and some monks, they cannot find their home because too much drunk. So, and what that happening is that the few Mahasiddhas, you know, when they put the alcohol in the kapala, and then the Lama, he reciting, like we call offering nectars. He reciting offering nectars, and this alcohol become boiling, you know, boiling and increasing. Everyone see. Of course, that is only one person can do, you know, not for everyone. But however, and then they took little bit, you know, put the big alcohol. There's many big alcohols, okay, like maybe 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liter alcohols. And then when the kapala become filled, you know, like you see, and then they take us blessing, nectar, and put little bit every bottles, and then they drink. And then they become drunk, you know. But the really person one never become drunk. And he also can do these things, even for front of everyone. So therefore, I think why they're talking about your mentor, by the mentor, mudra, siddhis, or samadhis, their amrita itself also transform. So these are the really practitioner, Vajra practitioner. These are the really tantric way of the doing. So, and then also the thinking is also changed, you know, thinking is also changed. And it taught that we should enjoy them. Okay, right, that is how it is. Then here they're talking about perceptions of the thought must be become many other things. And must be become someone that can yen to much las. Someone that can yen the then normally the monks, your thinking is you are monk, and your thinking is that this is alcohol. Your thinking is this is like I have to abandon. So you have thinking like that, right? You have thinking that. But in the tantric, your thinking is changed. Your thinking is you are deity, and all the objects are like mandalas, and alcohols are nectars, and etc. So therefore, way of the thinking is totally changed. So that's why, even though doing same things, but there's big difference. There's no really such, you are not breaking the vows because you are not anymore monk, you are not drinking alcohol, you are drinking nectars. So like that way. So therefore, here says, Nipa mepitin. This is also very important to you. By their being transformed into perception of the deities, mandalas, amrita, and so forth, as well as being faultless, and there are divine offerings and the accumulation are perfected, he says. Oh, nipa maybe think the lanchobi because you are offered to your deities and so on. So therefore, instead of the fault, it will be a completing perfectly. And that was how they are talking. Tawa no tinsan gambi tosu chibi yenten yaden yoba yenos. And also it can be very benefits. It says by there becoming accompaniments of your view as well as your meditation in samadhi become increased. So therefore those are the likewise become possessed of the exalted good qualities, So that is dependent on the really who you are thinking. So this is just one example, and you can keep this all others like sexual, like stealing or killing, and etc. So even we say if you have genuine compassionate, and we can do actions like to kill and etc. and so on and so forth. But of course, these things, we cannot act something like I am a Vajrayana. If you act as, I'm a Vajrayana, I can do things, then that may be just, yourself cheating, yourself bringing down yourself, so and so on and so forth. Sometimes people does that looks like I am Vajrayana and acts you are doing Vajrayana acting, but then inside is very, very ordinary mind. So those are you are collecting yourself like great amount of the, cause and condition for the falling down into the lower realms. All aspects of this perception should be known to be similar. So therefore, the meaning is there. This Patimokya, the abandoning, Mahayana become kind of okay, and Vajrayana applying all the essences, the pure mind. The essence is pure mind. There's no such like desire and etc. So therefore, those are the okay for the different occasions. So there in the Lapichaki Kunlang Shibat Shaos. He says that way you have to know how to practice. Maybe there's missing something, I think. Should know that way that you have to meditate. All aspects of practice should be known at that similar, okay? Then maybe I don't know. In brief, in any tradition whatsoever, when faults are produced, if virtue, good quality are produced, okay, action are prohibited. What is prohibited? Sorry? Donna nipa hiena kongulu lang gola yande nam gewa hiena if there is if there is the like negative emotions, if there is really ordinary thoughts and negative emotions, then no matter what you are practicing, you should abandon, Even you claim Vajrayana, but with alcohol, if you get some emotions, with things, if you get desire, whatever, then we should avoid. And then something, if really gives qualities, then those are the acceptable, I think. If virtues, good qualities are produced, action are permitted. So that is different of the person. Person have more power to all objects become like your circumstance of the virtue actions, then permit it. And that is not because of the you're satisfied, that because of the really other person need to be really greatly kind of help or benefit. That is the more things, Not because you are satisfied. That is not the case here. Therefore, it's important to know the perception for those who are great and intimidate with what they permit, and the hidden as well as generals. And then the particular case. So the general, we should not drink alcohol, we should not sexual, killing, and etc. for sure. Then particular is little different. Particular person, particular occasion, particular, like you're practicing, and so on and so forth. So therefore, for the general and the particular, as for all the Shastra, they give the praise. Shastra is more like teaching. I think what is called what you said, we have this, what? Thesis. Shastra is thesis or something. Dorna nisho chatong jibali yenden the same song no dambetsarum source. Nisho chatong jibali yenden the song nisho dambetsarum. Then he says the brief guiding the mind from harmful behavior, and it is associated aspect for the benefit of others is the called discipline of restraint. And then gathered by the two accumulation merit and sixth profession on a symbolic of the good quality which has not previous arising is produced. So that we call the three vows, 3 vows of the Bodhisattvas. They're talking about that. Soni paro shimba tukduba yende maheba shepar. Okay. Good quality produced, and increasing and arising of this is the called discipline of the gathering good dharmas. What is the meaning of the gathering good dharma? It's like that. So that is second vow of the Bodhisattvas. Then third one, they're talking about, they are chiefly gathered by discipline of mind. Okay, maybe like this, I think. Those skilled on upaya directly, indirectly, and accomplish the benefit of sentient beings by the means of gathering, and others are made joyful. Certainly they are upfield, and good and virtue seeds of automated truth are planted. That is Yeba Pewana Geva Chudujitum Senjan Lapi Suva Yeno Talan keeping with on Jenny Senjan La Pembe Tandula, Dubungubaji Yende Gawa Sheba Niga Sangantordon. Okay. So by the meaning of the gathering other and the mad joy, in certainly they are uplifted, means high realms, and the good and virtue seeds of automatic means eventually obtain enlightenment. Such working for the happiness for others is this plan of producing benefit for sentient beings. I think this was the quote well translated and very clear about these three ethics of the Bodhisattvas. Certain the sumji lam hlapasum dredging, soni zoni, songji bute, dombi certumji, pongwa posum soba debas. And then because of the practice of this first ethic, they're talking about this plan of the restraint, is that when you become enlightenment, we have to abandon two defilements, two defilements. Defilement of the omniscient and liberation, two defilement. And when you practice with this, the discipline of the restraint on the path, result is should be totally abandoned of the all these two defilement included habitual tendencies. And then we're talking about that we call completely abandoning. Then we need perfect realization. So the collation of the virtue of the ethic, when they become completing, and then you will find also perfectly realization. So these two are very important. These two are very important. And then when you have perfect of these two, then your activities will be, or the third this ethic we call producing benefit of the sentient beings. In the path, with training on that, then when you have become truly abandoning and truly arising of the realization, then your activity will be simultaneously and accomplishing for the benefit. So when you have become Buddha, so for that reason, in the path we have three kind of vows or ethic or discipline. So therefore, here they're talking like that, okay? So maybe I will read this. These three disciplines, the three disciplines of the path are accomplished when we have perfect the true accumulation and enlightened. By the discipline of the restraint, we attain the perfect abandon of the true obscurations and their habit patterns. By the discipline of the gather virtue dharma, and then this was again missing. There's maybe must be big missing, I think. Virtue dharma, page number what? 7. Oh. By the discipline of the gather of virtue dharma, perfect realization is attained the nature and extent dharmas of the so forth. And then by the discipline of benefit sentient beings, the attain perfect Buddha activities, taming whatever needs to be tamed, along with the spontaneous arising of the true benefits. So these are the result of the Buddhas. When you are become Buddha, what will happen is truly abundant, truly realization, that we call punto pusum sobas, the completely, perfectly realization and abundant. And once that happening, then your activity is simultaneously or spontaneously to be for sentient beings. So these three aspects of the Buddha, they are same, when you are really enlightened, there's no any negative emotion, and there's full realization, and there's full powerful energy, so to helping sentient beings. So these three, because of that way, then we are training now on these three disciplines. And Joel Hip says, Wosong, Sonje Sembe Tsotam Namba Sante, Dambe Tsotamto, Gewa Chudaji Sono, Sanjay Tendube Tsotamso, Tela Dambe. Okay. Kashyapa, thus Buddhi Sattva discipline has three aspects. They are the discipline of the re-state, and discipline of the gathering virtue dharmas, and the display of the accomplishing benefit for sentient beings. By the discipline of the re-state, the mind will guided from what is bad. By the discipline of gathered virtue dharmas, virtue root and establish it. By the discipline of the accomplished benefit of the sentient beings, we devoted ourselves to the benefit of others, and so on. And then, I think this is also called this debate toward Lemba, that devoted ourselves to the benefit of others. I think the devoted is maybe more Lemba. And then again from this teaching, materials teaching, yen la tuition some dendrot ni pari yen je tong tendon, hedon, jibame, sonam, sodon, dembradon, dada chunye topate, dans la niba namla yo, serum tenda yonshina, kibe yonda deparches. 6 aspects accomplish peace because of our attitude. The gift is given of life within highest realms, as well as support and peace and fearless. Support and peace and fearless. Also, we shall possess of the completion of the merit. We shall attain the nature of the symbolic signs. Symbolic signs, okay, data chunye topan. Then thus we have the topic content within the vow having complete. None are displayed like that. Those who are capable will rely or establish it. And then they're talking about 6 kind of aspects. It's commentary they're talking, so we can go through. Tela ngowa no yela tudente tsuramla nipa sozotabi dambi dambar choga person soba hyoye person sobar kana madaba charazanla njib nisi tabar labi yena yon tabar londe loba o hi nyenduli he dos. And says essence has 6 aspects. In being bound by vow personal enlightenment. What does that mean? Okay, that you are remaining on the ethic, right? What was missing?
The essence has 6 aspects concerned with abiding in discipline.
Okay, abiding. Yeah, connect with biding of the discipline. What is biding? Stay. Okay, stay, right. Nibas, meaning the bind. Where is that then? Okay, in being bound, now they talk. In being bound by the vow of the personal enlightenment. So that I will dambe, dambar person so be huye person so be. Person and enlightenment. And there are the perfect procedures, when you are receiving. When you are receiving, then they need also good motivation, good where you take, the good masters, and then the rituals all are become, you get from that like kind of such great, they're talking about here that kind of things. They are the perfect procedure, and then perfect sphere of experience. And this, I don't know what they're talking about. Choga person soba. Don't be choga person soba. Then on hyoyal person soba, okay. So I think that more like, if you are practicing on any of the paths, maybe they are talking like that perfect sphere of the experience. Even the suitable fords are view of the topic of fear. So means that, if I'm breaking the vows, that will be dangerous for us. We need to fear of that. We need to really very much concentrate on that. And that they're talking about topic of the fear. And then topic of the precept genuine receiving. The topic of the precept are genuinely received, and also, they are the trend in, so it is the explained on the level of the shavakas. These are the shavaka way of the talking. So if you are practicing, we need to also respect of the lovers, lovers, like for the concerning of the vows, the shavaka and particular Buddhas, they are really, really very, very careful. So that's why they are talking about here this Dividendilani Bos, Helena Yandan Tamji, then the Shiba, Yamumba, Shivado, Ronyan Jiba. Then they're talking about what the cause of make us train peace and nirvana, the free action of existence in the higher realms, the action produces the support of all the good qualities, the Kelasha are pacified, and we are made fearless about ourselves and others, and also good qualities. I think the good quality is the more, okay, good quality, we possess the accumulation of merit, the virtue collecting, virtue qualities, we possess the accumulated merit. In the division, that arising from receiving the two symbol attent of the dharmas. Oh, what is the sixth one? What they say, what is the sixth now? The sixth should be not here, I think. Yun hiwa nyangalindi ba topar hieto. Rivana dendro ni bao. Helena yandan tamji tenda ke bao. Nyamon ba hiwao. Rongan jiba mepar yon hieto. Yun hiwa nyangalindi ba topar heba no. Riva devani devan rova no. Ni helena yandan tenda ke bao no. Sum. Then nyem ba hiwa no ye rongyeng jiba me ba no nga yende no sonam chitu dem ba no truth. And the deviation arising from receiving the, I think this is not number 6 anyway. The deviation in deviation is different topic. So sixth is like and then the good quality we possess accumulated merit. And then they took Kailasha pacified. And then is fifth, and we are made fearless is sixth, about ourselves and others. That is sixth. No, that is fifth. So that is fifth. No. Sixth. That is sixth. Let me see. And then let me see. Okay. First, making the peace and nirvana is okay. The fruition is existence, the higher and higher. And here says more joy and joy, but he put here high and high. Second, and then the action produce of the support of all good qualities is okay. And then number fourth is the Kailasha pacified, and number fifth is and made fearless about ourselves and others, and number sixth is good quality. We aspect possess the accumulation of merit. Then in the division, they're talking about the division means that there's two kind of the vows, which is something you're receiving from the rituals, and then one is attend with Dhammata, means that when you are above the seeing path, then you obtain the absolute bodhicitta, that we call that they say obtain the Dhammata. Then the symbolic is more obtained the relative bodhicitta. So the relative bodhicitta arising from receiving the two symbols, the masters and yourself, and through all movements, and from that you will receiving. The attent of the absolute vow, when you see the Dhammata, then there is no such needed of any of the masters and etc. So tongbo soso tabao, junior satobala santen sameli hibade nini samde nugi sem tobaton, tonla la soba sabamba toba os. So therefore, he says the first refers the personal liberations, when they talk about first one, which the symbolic and receiving symbolic and etc. And then in attend Dhammata, they have two kind of, both samadhi and spotless karma arise, and this mind of actual samadhi are part of seeing and so forth. The undone filled lover of the noble ones. So number so touch here station something samejis. So the Asanga, he says that it has to be, like has to have like individual vows before you are taking the bodhicitta vows. So therefore, they're talking about first one arising from the patimoksas, and then second one when you say about the realization, there's two kind of like really the path of the pure meditation and the result of the also the seeing path. They're talking about this English, what they call is it says actual samadhi and the path of seeing and so forth. That maybe we are talking normal, And then the Abhidhamma Kosha's quotation, this is called the vow of personal liberation, and then sportlessness and samadhi arise a result. What is result? Arise a result. Taking something samishis. What is the result? Result. Fruition. Oh, that is very strange. Sportless and samadhis, something samishis. We're talking about samet. Tibet word samet is undownfall. Do they have like such things here? Samet? Here says undownfall, downfield, undownfield. The commentary says undownfield, page number 309, undownfield level. So then here don't say undownfield level in the quotation. Why? Spotlessness is like more stronger samadhi, right? Or spotlessness is like also downfield? Sorry? Maybe one person can say, because then I don't hear what you say. What is undownfield?
Undefiled means it's spotless. It's kind of like no defilements.
Okay, that's good. Then it's fine. Okay, maybe we can short break here.
Bama
So, when we talk about ethic, and normally we talk more like vows, Tibetan word vow means like more kind of bondage, vow, that you really kind of be one kind of land, on land. So therefore, the teaching, they're talking about many kind of the vows. It means that we have many different people. Someone can practice like full ordained, and then someone cannot. And someone can be also full lay practitioner vows, can have lay practitioner vows, but someone cannot. But I think if like not stealing, not what is called lying, and not killing, at least those are, I think, we should do. In the Buddhist sadhva practitioners, that at least that we should not harm. That is not only Buddhist sadhvas, but that is like minimum of the in the Buddhist practitioner. So maybe in future that if we take vows that something, I will not kill maybe human beings, and then slowly cows, horse, and like this kind of, the having vow has great merit, great merit. So, and why they're talking about like these nuns, and before you take this full vow of the nuns, and so on and so forth, is different person has different type of the emotions. That is not something great, or that is not something worse. Emotions are good. Even the ladies have more emotions. I think it's very good, really clever, wisdom. It's that, I mean, like, the emotion is also somehow like the movement of your sharpness, But we are using this sharpness is a little bit wrong way. So if little change, then you are even more great than men. So that's why in Buddhist, the Vinaya, they looks like, woman little bit pushed down, because the safety of the men. But in Buddhist sadhvas, they are very equal. And then in Vajrayana, they talk women is much more important than men. So, some people think the Buddhists, push the women down, but that is not true. But different practice at different occasions, then we have to say in different things. So therefore, in Vajrayana, we're talking about women is more important than men. General topic, okay. But then here now we're going through the boring topic or difficult topic. Then they're talking about now, as soon as this Abhidhamma Kosha, they're talking about vows of the Bodhisattvas. There's two kind of. One is the came through the rituals. One is that you obtain with the seeing of the Dhammata through the meditation as well as the seeing parts. So these disciplines are involved. What is involved? In what is that? Sorry? Oh, they can't be, okay. Not going down, right? That is not going down or not breaking. Like if your vows that obtain through the samadhis or through the seeing path, then you don't have to this inviolate, okay? And nyeron to mandipanos, and those vows are not mixed with conceptual physician of the Shavaka and Patika Buddhas. They are big different. Even though you do have the vow of the Patimokkha, but the Bodhisattva's vow of the Patimokkha, the intention is big different than the Vinaya practitioners. So therefore, it is not mixed with the conceptual physicians of the Shavaka and Patika Buddhas. It is not defiled with downfalls. So once you are reached to the seeing path and meditation paths, then there is no such actually faults and etc. So therefore, and then Teche Yimbis, more Mamapadis, the sutta are not lacking since they are part of the Mahayanas. I think maybe this, I'm not very sure, but because of this Mahayana tradition, so therefore these are not something like lacking of the or lower or something. And so therefore, this kind of the four qualities, there's four kind of, having these four aspects, it should be produced as the support of the good qualities. So in order to raise of our qualities and generate the bodhicitta with four kind of qualities are very important, he says. And then the letter from the friendly letter Nangajunas, not fixed and unchangeable. Okay, must be one line missing, I think. So that was really bad luck somehow. Why I have this other one, the text, I worked so many days, so many weeks on this book, but then there's, so sometimes the lack of merit, maybe still you are not Mahayana perfect. So there's so many missing from our mind, I think. It won't be really, it happened that I got something wrong. Because what I got is from Jens, and Jens, he really looked quite carefully, he always tried to do very good. So your involved discipline indeed not lacking and not mixed and unchanging, it will pure reliance and discipline at the level of having course and courseless is stored as the ground and support of all good qualities. So I already explained all these things, I think. And now they're talking about more qualities. As for the virtues of such disciplines, this translator sometimes quality is translated as virtue, and sometimes virtue translated as quality, so I don't know exactly what is right ones. But I understood is yenten is more quality, and virtue has a lot of qualities. So in this case, this is talking about virtue, okay? Touring member Mundo Yondo Tojong Tela Chamahis. And here says the Buddha child always receiving the three discipline which are the nature of the view and vow and effort. Though they have no craving for the celestial realms, they generally attain them even though they produced no desire to do so. By the very same discipline, all beings are also established within the three enlightenment by the wisdom of discipline being completely accomplished by the inexhaustible established in the realm of the purity. Again, the realm of the purity is, I have little bit dot here, okay? That means realms is the Tibetan word. Jiten ta can be pure and ta can be also realms. So therefore, in the realms, it's never be end, in the realms. It means that as long as the qualities never be end until you have become enlightenment. That was the main meaning here. So that was the ethic. Then we should go a little bit more the patience. I think third one, patience. Zoba Lion Denlis. And here has 7 kind of the list. The first one is general teaching on the divisions, what kind of how many different kind of the zopas, patience, tolerance. Then is over part of himbanas. Then as for the perfect of the presence. So what it mean then? When you talk about ethic, patience, it has to go also ethic above. So then after ethic, then what you need to learn is patience. Patience. So they are, I think the English, I don't know, consequence after each, they call what is consequence or something? One after. Sorry? Consecutive. Okay. After one, they have to go to after each. Oh, that was sequence. Okay. This is something also I have to learn. Maybe I have to go to America. Sequence. So the 3 kind of patience also need to be established. We give no thought to how much suffering is involved in virtue kind of out and inner injuries. Because of compassion, we have a wish to practice Dharma. Third, there is the debt of compassion that has no reference point. So there's three kind of the patience, which is something like when you are practicing, there can be a lot of hardships, lot of difficulties. Sometimes really difficulties came unnecessarily and unexpectedly. Even we think that we must be going well, but then certainly it with difficult comes. So the problem is when there come so many different difficulties, that if we are the lack of the tolerance, then we should give up. People can, okay, now I really tiring of this. I try my best many times, but it always failure. So now I don't want to do anymore, and so on and so forth. But here says the tolerant, no matter how you get difficulties, we should never give up also our ethic, as well as generosity, and as well as others. Because those are as we always thinking of, the bad weather is not permanent. Bad weather should be one day stop, because the nature of sky is not all the time bad weather. right? So similarity, our problems, our circumstances can be very, very difficulties, but we should have tolerance. So that is the one. Then other things, when we are helping sentient beings, helping to sentient beings, so we need help sentient beings endless. Today maybe you can help one, maybe tomorrow two appear. And if you help them, next is four appear, and like that. So, niji chula sembasi. Okay, maybe I will go, I think, more the commentary of Longchen Ranjampas. Sorry. That is maybe better, I think, and easy. So not getting angry at harms, injuring produced of the external things is the passion of the fortitude. The parot ji nobam sewala soba hibala tobar mahipan manjepe zoparis. And then next is tawat no ronjin ji chud bikaye zobana. Then dunga tondalemba chimanyam zoparis. Undering hardship in liberations and in establishing the Dharma of oneself and others. Oneself and others. And this patient does not care of much suffering involved. What does that mean? I think in Tibetan word that when you are practicing of the Dharma, they should have a lot of they do have a lot of the hardships. But if you compare, like result of the Dharma, then this hardship is nothing. So therefore, we are be tolerant with that. And then Niji Yende ji sen la hyungan me patong. Maybe we are missing something. Or compassionate practice is tireless in benefit others and not being afraid of the profound meaning of emptiness. The passion of the compassion having no reference point of nature. And account the meaning of these again here, again the quotations. So those are the quote easy, right? So if we have stronger compassion, there's no really sad or upset or tired after helping sentient beings. So we need kind of also patience like that. And then once we have enough or no fear of the receiving emptiness of the teachings, and these two are like one. These two are they calling into one type of the patience. They call the passion of the compassion having no reference point of the nature. I think reference is like what? More effort or something? What is reference?
When you go back to
Uh,
I think it's not dual.
not
Non-dual.
non-dual.
Reference point is no.
Okay. So you will always be there. Profound meaning of emptiness and the passion of the compassion. You have to put, I think, together. These are the together.
no object.
Sorry.
No object.
Reference point. No reference point. There is nothing to refer.
Okay. Nothing reference. Only some of the number of opportunities. Okay, that means that you are tolerance of the Dhammata. That was meaning here, okay? Tolerance of the Dhammata. And manje chiman nyam shi dong hije chula tembe shi pe nga na yongda shi. And then it is again here. As for the fortitude, and it pays no heed. As for compassion and support of the Dharma, thus in the two explanation of the 5 benefits, they are the produce of the 2 benefits, and with ascetic patience the chief, and everything with it is mentioned the having 3 different aspects, And when patients such as that, the complete none, this voice of the said that is the truly established. So I will read in Tibet. Anyway, first is they're talking about three kind of the patience. If you rely on that, there's 5 qualities, which is the accomplishing of the benefit of both. And you are meant for the also have this power to do hardships. Then telaten namsundo. Okay. I think it will be come down, sorry. It will has also this commentary. The essence of faith that is not anger with other and bear adversity, the cause is compassion, the 5 benefit fruitions. 5 benefit fruition is regarding this, the sutras. There is not much resentment and discord. I think normally sometimes we have some enemies and like that, maybe that it won't have like that kind of things. And but this is much happy and blissful mind. Discord is not much resentment is 1, discord is 2, and then there's much happy and and happy and blissful mind, it is kind of 2. So there is no regret at the time of the death, and the body abide in peace. I think those are the 5. There is reborn in the bliss of the celestial realms. Okay, this happy, much happy and blissful mind is 1. Then the much recent is 1, discord is 2, much happy and blissful mind is 3rd one. The no regret at the time of the death is 4th one, and the body abide a peace is 51, I think. Oh, then still one more left. Sorry? Ken momo bano e momo ba yans dewa no ye dewa yin sum joba me ban chebiti ke ba no ye. I think Lu Hini Tajon Konandrova. Lu Hini, yeah, I think the first one, what is resentment? What?
It's kind of resentment is a kind of anger.
Anyway, the last, the body abide at peace. And there is rebirth in the blissful celestium. This should be is 1. But they, I think maybe here is one mistake of Tibetan. What they say is when your body become cloth and then you will be rebirth in the celestial realm. The last is like 1. The body here says abiding in peace, but that is wrong. Body collapse, and then you will rebirth in the blessed realms. That was here the topic. So I have to check one Tibetan. There's little mistake spelling in Tibetan, so that makes little different for translations. Ken momo bayen, yen momo bayen, deva no deva momo yen, jova me le hini chons. I think this is, when your body become a class and it goes to the higher and higher realms. That is that's topic here. Not peace, but more club, body club. Sorry? Clubs, clubs, clubs. When the body, when the body clubs and will be born in the bliss of the Celestial realms. That was the meaning, okay? So, and then they're talking about actions. What really action, okay? The action is to produce benefit and happiness for both oneself and others. Of course, the passion, the tolerance really can be great to be benefit both sides, because if we have tolerance, then you can take other person's problems, so therefore there will be great benefit. And if you are really want to practice, then we need some that kind of object. So therefore, you done that. So therefore, you will be also happy. Oh, I was today went well because of this hard work, this difficult situations. I went well. So you will be also happy, temporarily, and then eventually, of course, your mind become very stable and trained. So therefore, there's big benefit. And here says, whenever knows other to be disturbed, Tibet or tuk means that upside down. Tuk means upside down. If we have ordering things here one by one and this goes to upside down, then we call tuk. So mind become upside down, someone. When you knew that, then we have to be peace, okay? Causes them to be completely peaceful. By such people, benefit is done. For themselves, for others, and for both. Okay, I think those are the quote. Then another sentence similar of everyone's. The Buddha's child bear all the harm of human beings, which is the very hard to be, hard to do. And since they cannot care of the heavenly realms, they are unafraid of feeling to go there, having no conscience of the personal benefit. This is the qualities, Normally, if you do something difficult things, they should have some of concern of personal benefits, but Bodhisattvas are not. By that, some passions, they establish it all sentient beings in the enlightenment. Also, three kind of the enlightenment, okay? They always have these three kind of enlightenment. By the wisdom of passion being completely accomplished, they establish it with the inexhaustibly in the pure realms. Again, this realms should be okay. Realms, it will be not inexhaustibly realms. Zoba yeshi ji yonsu simbi njiten tana mze yaks. So this is the, by the wisdom patience, the benefit is not filled in the realms. Maybe that is the actually more correct one, I think. And then here is how to meditations, how to meditate. Maybe I think we should stop here today. So our timing is a little bit short though, but maybe we can manage. So then we can have some questions. Yeah.
So about the generosity, I think it is sometimes very difficult. Not, I mean, how to say? Sometimes it is easy not to think about giver giving what is given and the object of giving.
Mm.
Sometimes it is easy, but sometimes there is the tendency. Sometimes maybe to think that okay, this will also be for my benefit. But I think that is better to give it that kind of benefit, that kind of thinking that
Mm.
it can produce some kind of benefit than to not give at all.
I think it's more that if we kind of a little bit meditation on the essence of the all these things, or then we say like meditation on the like dreams, both yourself and your things and where you give. So when they talk about the without conceptualizing of the three spheres, it doesn't mean that's exactly some kind of the eco point meditation, because these are the still on the relative truth, like on the post meditation. So we cannot be like really eco point, like a eco point meditation, though that we should know all these things are really not much essence, essence. I mean like not necessarily clinging as like really I done something great. So more like without any stinginess, without any clingings, like more concern of the benefit and also pacified of the poorness, pacified of the poor for others.
So kind of.
These things we need to really train, of course, this is not camp like for beginners, but if someone who have ever to resting in the natural state, like little bit, like, or little bit, intellectually everything as like dream or emptiness and like that. So maybe we mind also we goes with that kind of concessions. So at least now then don't clinging and don't hope to get something back. Those are quite important.
Even though the thinking would be that we gain some merits. I mean that the other person don't give anything to us, but we gain some merits. And, I mean, that is not thinking that he will give something, but that it will be for the good of me also to benefit them. I mean, I benefit.
So maybe you think if you put one drop of the water put into the ocean, and can we think, or after some time I will take my drop of water from there? Can we think?
I don't understand this.
If you put one drop of water in the ocean, so once you drop there, it will be melt. So we don't think that, we cannot think that my water I will bring back from there. But it already dropped. So once we are giving something, we may be a little bit like that way, dropped.
On page 291, in the middle, it is saying, likewise, jhana is not formlessness. How shall I understand that?
200 what? 91.
91. Right in the middle of the page.
Likewise, dhanaya is not formlessness.
Yeah.
Oh.
How shall I understand that?
I think the formlessness meditation we learned, I think, first year books. So such formless meditation is the meditator, some deep meditators. They see the all phenomena are that there's no form. They are seeing of the there's no form. Like almost they empty. They understood emptiness. However, still they are very kind of clinging of their meditation. So they are not really realized that the mind is like also emptiness. They are too much into the deep meditate and more like clinging of the joy of the meditation. And those meditators, they knew there is formlessness, but they are clinging of they enjoy of the meditator, so meditating, so therefore they are still in the worldly, one of the highly worldly beings. So we have to go beyond that. The wisdom can go go beyond that. That is the talking about. Mm.
On the same side, 291,
Mm.
it says in the second part, to endure everything patiently.
291.
Yeah,
291 is very popular today.
yes. But it's like an encouragement.
What was your, sorry, so 291, then what was?
The second paragraph. To
Oh.
endure everything patiently, meditate on patience. It's easy to understand what it means, but in reality there is also sometimes a choice to change things or to leave circumstances that are difficult. How can I think about this?
Okay, 291. Which one?
Second paragraph.
Can you read?
To endure everything patiently.
To enjoy.
Endure. Withstand. To
Second paragraph.
stay with.
To endure everything.
Patiently, etc.
What is that?
Well, it's like an encouragement.
Tanjela Zabakyabe Zabagamba. Oh, they're talking about what is to endure. What is endure?
Endure means to stay with, even if it's difficult to stay on and keep on.
Oh, yes. Okay, that is meaning of the tolerant. What is the meaning of the tolerant?
Endurance.
Sorry?
Endurance.
What is endurance? Everything patently. Endure everything patently. So that is, you don't know what does that mean.
Yeah, I know what it means, but then I know that in everyday life there comes a time when you think it's too difficult and you want to make a change or you want to leave difficult circumstances. How can I think about this?
You mean that you can change,
Yeah. Sometimes
not stay on one subject, or what mean?
yes, maybe I think it's too bad. I want to make a change or I
Oh,
want to
yeah. But I think it's more thinking is that the tolerance is not angry to back. That is the passion. So no matter either you change the object or keep that, or you can cover something, whatever you can do, but it thinks that you should remain your mind is more no angry.
Okay.
That is the meaning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
305.
305.
I want to know if I understood correctly that there are three aspects,
Mm-hmm.
or like pratimoksa. You have the vijnana, the personal liberation,
Mm-hmm.
where if you break the 10 vows, that's like really bad. Then you have the vajra practitioner,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you can break bodhisattva vows if it helps others.
Sorry, I didn't get now. Vajrasattva's vow can be break Bodhisattva vows.
Break 10, like the 6 non-virtues, if it helps other people. Is that
The Bodhisattva,
vow is different than vajra?
yeah, as the first Patimoksha, like if you are practitioner of the Patimoksha or Patimoksha's view, the view of the Patimokkha practitioners, like in the Vinaya, there is no such excuse of the 10 unvirtues. But then the Bodhisattvas, if you have Bodhisattva mind, so if you can really, your main practice is to helping sentient beings. So in order to helping sentient beings, then the 7 of the action, negative action from body and speech, sometimes they occasionally okay. And then Vajrayanas, we are more, third one. Vajrayana is third one, more concerned of the pure perceptions, and so the object also need to be pure, and subject mind, any of the mind is also has to be pure. The object from the gurus to the all hell realms beings, we should have also pure perception as our deities and etc. And also subject mind from the deep ignorant to up the omniscient, it should be pure. So therefore, there is also kind of, you can apply, not just only occasionally, okay, but if you have enough the skillful and wisdom, and you can apply, and those can be also great, helpful, your practice.
And then it goes to the tantric level, the other ones, everyone can go to the tantric level or not?
Then once you are go to the tantric level, then even you do like killing or drinking alcohols, and you can, because at that time it's like you are not monk, like human beings. So yourself also change, and what alcohol it change, and also the why you are drinking is also changed. So therefore, even though the meaning of the meaning is same, in the Vinaya the abandoned alcohol is because not become drunk, and then the Vajrayana they drink but they never become drunk. So therefore, the same meaning. If you are not drunk, then this is become water. Alcohol is become water. That is just giving examples, okay?
So Rinpoche, is there like, I mean, as a confusing thing, it can be like you said, that people can think that they are really, on this level, and they think that they can do anything.
Mm.
Is there like I mentioned some kind of how to say, measures when you are ready to do this kind of practice?
Yeah. As long as you think you are human beings, then you should not do. Oh, really? That are you a human being or what? I think if you don't know, then you are something else already. So maybe you will do anyway. You will do strange things, but that is different case. But as long as you think that you are human and you are doing act as human, then we have to be very careful.
I think from Words of the Perfect Teacher, it said that Vajrayana practice is like a snake going into bamboo. Some bamboo can go up or down, but sort of radical. Is that the idea behind that?
Yeah, I think it's in the Vajrayana practitioners, if we are broken samayas, and then you just go directly to the Dham. But if we are handle of the samayas, of course we do breaks, but it's quite important to confess, like here says the confess sutra and all other confess things we are reciting, and maybe even brokings, then it kind of results. So if you don't do the confess, in the Vajrayana says, if you don't do confess in 3 years, like if you really broken vows, if you don't do confess in 3 years, then it won't be resolved. So therefore, it means that if you do everyday confess, then maybe there's no broken samayas. Then maybe upwards. But if they really broken samayas, then there's downwards. There's no third roads.
Vajrayana view,
Mm.
then what is the reason to do anything actually? When if you see everything is deity, then we have no need to eat food or drink alcohol or helping beings because they are already deities. So how is it?
You think deities are no job? I think if deities are most because we have jobs. So we have I think they have to do various things for helping sentient beings. And then also that on the path, when you are meditate, you can maybe see as everything as deities and etc. But maybe you cannot be all the time in 24 hours like that kind of view. So some point that also we have some kind of arising negative emotions. They were saying that those who kind of have realization of the true nature of mind, then the question is, this person will be never arising negative emotion? The answer is they do arising negative emotion. And arising negative emotion is same way of the before. But the difference is those who knew the nature of phenomena and they knew how to liberate it. That is difference. So, but they arising negative emotion. So they knew how to liberate from that, and that is the extra. So similarity, those practitioners, they do have some kind of negative emotions. Still, we need to train, until you are completely enlightenment. Mm. So I have here now a list. Maybe tomorrow we could have a little kind of exams. So I will put two groups here. Two groups. So examination is, I have to tell you today kind of the rules of the examinations. Here is two groups we call Longchen class and Jilin class. Okay, Jilin is Jimelingba and Longchen is Longchen Ranjam. And then we switch maybe a little bit different way. And then did you find this way you were writing down? Okay. So there is question, I will pick up questions. And the idea is that one of your groups, you can answer anyone, whoever knows that question. So here is like almost 20 people each group. So whoever knows the answer, and then we will put the numbers. So I think number should go above 300. Okay. I will see now how much questions also and how much we can have times. So however, then also because we have many people, so it will be maybe if you don't know one person but maybe know next person and something. So therefore one side is quite easy to give answers. But then other side, if you have a wrong answer, and then the number will be minus. So that because then people just say, even they don't know anything, they can be say, this and that and so on and so forth. So in order to avoid that, what is my rule is that whoever says wrong, then your number will be going less, less and less. Like this question, each question has how much numbers? Some questions there's 30 numbers, you get the what's called this marks, and some is 20, some is 10. So if you say 10, the question which you get 10, and if you say wrong, then 10 will be minus, okay? And this question has 30 number. If you say wrong, then your 30 number will be going to minus. So therefore, it can be that you will be totally zero or even some minus. So it can be also you have like go over the what you supposed to have. So
So we
the
need over 10 because there's 10 virtues.
sorry,
How many points do we need?
we need to. I think that depends a little bit, but maybe I think 300.
Can the group be discussing before giving an answer?
There's not much time. Okay, there's not much time. So our examination is after dinner, so until 10 o'clock. So maybe we can have 2 hours, like if we start 8 or 7:30, maybe, and 2.5 hours. So anyway, there's not much to discussing.
Because otherwise nobody will answer anything.
Yes,
In the frame of mind.
Okay. So maybe you can little bit talk, that is okay. Maybe, like maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Or, sorry?
You say until 10 o'clock and that's so far over sleeping time. So then I will be so tired. But okay, let us do it in the morning between 5 and 6.
You can have it.
If you can see what I mean? For some of us, it's very, very late in the evening, in the night.
So you are complaining now. I think question will be 10 or maybe after dinner, because we don't have time now during the daytime. Anyway, we have go to 2 sessions, otherwise it will not go finish. That is one thing. So it has to be everyone in the present. So I hope everyone joined. But I will read here the list of the names. So it basically is some groups they have some people are missing, but I put here because one group has also the responsibility of everyone, okay, of our class. So the Longchenpas, they start from beginning is Yun and Lena, Hanne, Maria, Elena, Petty, Carmen, Huya, Patricia, Maya, Ole, Mia, Yakosoter, Yake, Anna, Yako, and you, I think, sorry. And then also there's Yarko. Which one? Maybe Dr. Yarko. Oh, which one?
Jarko is him and Jarko.
But we have few Yarkos now, I'm not sure this. Okay, I will check now. Or maybe it's Yarko, I think. And Marta, Olga, and then Eva, Sine, and Jens. These three are this year, they could not able to come. But anyway, I put here because they will join in the next year. They said they will join in the next year. And then the Yiling class, Helen is not here, sorry. And Hong, Pekka, Yarko Kohonen, and Christian, Eric, Janne, Mari, Ilka Neminen, Ella, Vivi, Steve, Ilka, Esak, Sebastian, Carle, Neme, Danuta, Easter, and Peters, they will not hear. So this is like based on the actually just name list from the alphabets, the family names. So they put together. So if you need some prepare or some discussion, who will be mainly charge of the talking, or then whatever you can decide today and until tomorrow. So then it will be, tomorrow we just tie, okay?
No, my name was in Longchenpa with no R.
Your name, you have no R, right? Okay, then I have to check. No R1. There's no R1 Yako here. But 2S, 2S. But I thought you are put in Jilin, but why it came here? Sorry? Okay, that was something. Anyway, that is how it is.
So which one was it?
Longchenpa. Okay, Longchenpa. Uh, sorry? Uh, so this exam is not individual exam, so like more the group exam. Okay, so of course. Okay. Then if you don't want to be in the list, then I can take what, no problem. I think is so terminology is no problem. There's many like meaning. So the question is actually in Tibetan. So I will translate. Okay. Well, I will translate. I will try to translate that. So many questions it requires from the book. So those I try to put in English. So maybe that is helping you. But many questions also can be just you can use from your head, or that is like I will reading that the question like which you really understand what they are talking. So if you think of your terminology, you don't know what is question, then that will be clarified. And then answer is also you can use your terminology that we will also find out. Yes.
Excuse me, who is Marie and who is Maria?
Oh, this Marian is from the Sweden. There's only one Maria, I think. But you know where you are now. Which group? Longchenpa, right. There's one Maria from the Longchenpa, and then Maria is Jumelingba.
But I'm not sure now. Am I in Longchenpa?
Oh, sorry. Your name is
Jarko, 1K. And Törmänen is the...
yeah. There's no family name, but I think Jarko is your Jarko is Longchenpa. So maybe I will put this list somewhere. I think on the doors. Maybe then you can find. So numbers, I will tell you tomorrow how much we need to be reach to the numbers, okay? So world thinks that if someone saying wrong, that will be then big problem. Sorry?
If I'm wrong in the answer, then it is for the whole group.
Yes, all group is going down. So one person can be leads. This is now how we are bodhicitta working.
Yes.
Bring everyone same time. So,
What if the question is like partly right?
sorry?
If the question is, answer is partly right.
No need to write at all. Just saying.
Half right, like not fully right, but there is like partly right and not fully.
Oh, that I will see. That is my job.
So we rely on your mercy.
Sorry.
We rely on your mercy.
What is mercy? So I know this how you knew that subject, and then that way we'll give numbers, and when I had exam, the beginning years, so like in Mandoli Monastery, many of my classmates, they already been the Mandaling kind of this ground school, they have been examination all the time. So I never had examination. Then one monk, he says, I was really a little scared or not, like nervous, and he says, why you are nervous? You should writing as much as possible, no matter if they really answer or not. Then I asked, why we do it then if it's not sure? And he says, it will never really look truly this teachers, he says, if you wrote too much around, maybe a little bit upward, then you can try to write too much. And then, of course, that, you have to writing too much is also not so easy. But we have only 3 hours, and then sometimes we have to answer like 10 questions and 8 questions. Like minimum is 5 questions. And then this guy says, oh, I wrote to the 22 page and like 23 page like that. So like I try to writing, all the time, the answers. I cannot be like more than 10 pages or something. So then I thought maybe, okay, that I done something wrong. He wrote really like 23. I asked, what kind of you wrote? And he says that everything according to the book, But then when we get results, I'm not so bad. So sometimes short form is good than like writing too much. But then if you're really very bad or you don't know anything, people says that you should better to writing a little bit more, But anyway, tomorrow that if people talk the right duration, then you will get numbers. But then if you talk totally, like north and west or something, then its number will go down. Oh yeah. Sunam doye damje debanya dana nibe dana bala dubaye zube done dowa yo manam ye je banya bana bayon gome daya mala baba yane Damba darje je bajo yana go yana yo ba damba yana go la ya yana yo Tambang